Hi friends, welcome to EduTap. So first of all, a very pleasant good evening, and please do let me know if you're able to hear me properly. Am I audible to you guys? And are you able to see the screen so that we can quickly start with the live session? So basically friends, today we are going to have a look at how do we need to prepare for RBI Grade B 2019 in 50 days that is left out with us, right? So we know that RBI Grade B 2019 notification is out. The online application will soon begin, right? So I would really request you to let us know if you are able to hear me. Thank you, Ramachandra. I can see that you have put a message saying that it is audible, and Gaurav Singh has also put that. Hi Arijit, hi all of you there. So I really hope that you have started out with your preparation. If not, kindly follow this strategy, have a look at it, right? So we'll quickly start out, and first of all, let me just reiterate the fact that the online registrations would begin on 21st of September and they would go on till 11th of October 2019, right? The phase 1 examination is going to be held on 9th of November 2019, and phase 2 examination is going to be held on 1st of December 2019, right? So we know that it is a 3-tier examination, phase 1 being qualifying in nature, right? Phase 2 has 3 papers, right? ESI, English and FM, and finally we have the interview stage, right? So all of you, hi out there, good evening. I am not going to be specifying the names, we'll just quickly go with the session, right? So if you see this flow chart, you can see here that between the time of your phase 1 examination and now we totally have 50 days in our hands, okay, and after that we have 20 days left for phase 2, right? So what we will do, we will categorize and see that in these 50 days what do you need to do, okay, and the next 20 days will be taken care of later. Now friends, a few pointers here, okay. This strategy is a guidance to you all, okay. It is not that you should follow it exactly then and there. It is not like that, okay. But understand that you can take the important pointers from it and then apply and customize your preparation. So again, I'm repeating this fact, okay. So we'll just move ahead. Then I will take the questions at the end, okay. One very important pointer here is your parallel preparation. So in these 50 days, friends, your preparation is not only going to be there for phase 1, but it should also be focused for phase 2. Phase 1 plus phase 2. How do we need to divide the days? That we will see this in this session, okay. And at last, if you have any doubts, that also we will cater to, okay. Fine. So have a look at the pattern of the phase 1 examination. We are dealing with 4 sections out here: general awareness, reasoning, English and quantitative aptitude. Total 200 marks, okay. Now understand one thing here, that the key section is general awareness section. Out of 200 marks, 80 marks is for GA, right? So our concentration should be there. Plus, we should also understand that there is sectional cutoff, right? So we need to pass that sectional cutoff in the other sections as well, okay? Reasoning, English and quantitative aptitude, okay? So let's focus first here, that let us take this section current affairs, okay. We will try and understand the importance of current affairs, but one thing friends, I would like to mention it very clearly. We are not going to be talking about current affairs for phase 1 or current affairs for phase 2. The demarcation is not going to be there, because understand the questions that are there in phase 2 are also asked in phase 1. There can be some questions which are exclusively for phase 1, like you can have your awards or sports, okay, but most of the time you see there is an overlap. So that is how we need to redirect our preparation, right? Understand one thing. So many of you might have this doubt that, you know, we just have 50 days available, our preparation is not on track, are we going to clear RBI Grade B 2019? Let me tell you, with the proper knowledge of the previous year questions, a very good understanding of the syllabus, and the third thing, the right direction is very important. If these 3 elements are combined together, this aspect of whether I'll be able to clear RBI Grade B 2019 or not is not going to be there, okay. So I request you guys, if you're still not thorough, do that. Have a quick look at the previous year questions. Make sure you know the topics in the syllabus, and the third thing, we are providing it to you, that is the right direction through this session, right? So now have a look at the stats that I'm showing you on your screens. This is the weightage of current affairs questions in phase 1 and phase 2. You can see here that when you talk about phase 1, current affairs is nearly 60 to 65 marks out of 80. That is huge, right? Talk about ESI, out of 100 marks, 80 to 85 marks. Again, huge, right? Phase 2, out of 100 marks, 20 to 25 marks. Not huge, but important, okay? Why important? You know that finance is a bit of tricky when you compare it with ESI and the other areas, okay? So this is one trump card that you can play, where you can make sure that you do well in your current affairs section, so that your FM marks get a boost, right? Understood here? Now friends, see here. I have drawn a chart here which says general awareness, okay? So it is a superset basically. Under that general awareness, okay, you have ESI in news and finance in news, okay? So now the preparation that we are going to do in these 50 days is going to be combined preparation for phase 1 and phase 2 current affairs. Understand that very clearly, right friends? Okay. Now, let us do one thing. Understand the coverage, okay? We have been getting a lot of questions, okay? We have been getting a lot of queries regarding what? Regarding coverage, okay? That's very apt. So, let us start one by one. Bear with me in case this session takes a bit longer, because I want to make sure that, you know, the queries are resolved, okay? EduTap is trying its best to make sure that you're not left with any doubts after this session, right? Okay. So, begin with coverage out here. First of all, understand the priority. This is a competitive examination. You need to know what to study first, what to leave. These two aspects are very, very important, okay? So what you need to do first is these months. November, just 3 days I am putting here, because we have seen that last week, the just before week exam of the examination, there are questions which are asked in the paper, okay? October 2019 is very, very important in terms of current affairs. September 2019 is going to be important. August 2019 is going to be important, okay? So you can see August, September, October should be your highest priority, the topmost priority, right? Move ahead. The next 3 months, okay? July 2019, June 2019, May 2019 also you need to do, but it comes less in priority when compared to the previous 3 months, okay? So October, September, August, July, June, May. Now understand the next aspect as well. We have questions asked from the previous months, but what kind of questions? When you talk about Jan to April 2019, you need to make sure you cover the important schemes, plus you cover important indices and also reports. Why is this case, friends? See, just take this logic here. If there is an index which is released, say in January 2019, okay? So for this particular examination, that is the latest data, right? When is the next index going to be released? Jan 2020. Before that, your examination is going to get over, right? So indices should not be left out. So you should start your index from Jan. Okay, so make sure you're just browsing through. Wherever you're seeing an important index, just note down India's rank in it, just note down the dimensions, okay, and then move ahead, and which country stood first, okay? So these are some of the things that are very important for you to concentrate, okay? Fine. We have answered the first question. We have seen the first aspect. What is that aspect? Current affairs preparation, phase 1, phase 2 going together, right? What is the second aspect that we have seen? The second aspect is what is the coverage, okay? What are the months that we need to study, okay? What is the third aspect now? How to cover? This is the question that we need to answer. That is what we are there for. What we need to do so that we can utilize our time effectively, okay? So here you can see that the last days of September month, I'm just taking 10 days into account. Today is 18th September 2019. Let me just short it out to 10 days. So I would say stretch a bit in these 10 days. Why I'm saying so? Because the pressure is least in these 10 days. As you start or enter October month, okay, and as you proceed with the month of October, the pressure is going to build up, so your efficiency will be less. So whatever maximum time you need to utilize well, it should be in this this last 10 days. Okay, I'm not asking you to forget your sleep or work, but still comparatively you have that freeness in your mind that I still have a month ahead. Okay, those psychological aspects also work a lot in your preparation. Okay, so now what you need to do, stretch yourself. July, August, September. Okay, September, do it simultaneously. We are already halfway through. 18th it is today, right? So July, August, September, try and complete the current affairs. If not, at least see the important ones. Okay, you should have a hold on these 3 months. Okay, next, coming to the month of October, that is, we are forcing in the month of October. What you will do, keep doing the same month's current affairs, October plus June and May. Now, I have highlighted this June and May because this is of less priority. Understand that, okay? So, you can leave it, but I would not recommend you to leave it, but at least go through it once, okay? Then, the first 4 days of November, what you can do, just make sure the first 2-3 days you are aware what is happening and do revision. Okay, because the first week of November, I'm not expecting much out of you, and you also should not expect much out of you. Okay, it's a human brain. We have to deal with a lot of feelings and anxiety, maybe you can say pressure or any other thing, baggage of your previous attempts. There can be n number of factors that are going to bother you, right? So I would say that give yourself that leverage, give yourself that room, that I'm going to make the most out of September last 10 days. Okay, October I'm going to be in the medium pace. November I can give a leverage to myself wherein I know it is not going to be 100%. Understand that, okay? Fine. Now, is it all? Current affairs means like news, what is happening, you know, is it all? No. Understand that when we talk about current affairs, it is not just the daily happenings, but other important reports, surveys as well. So for now, I have listed down these things which are again important for phase 1 and phase 2. Understand that, right? You have Union Budget 2019-20. Okay, you have Economic Survey 2018-19, there is Census 2011, there is SECC 2011, right? There is government schemes as well. Okay, so you can see all these reports, all these sources are very important. Now, do not have this myth that these are important only for phase 2. No, I told you that we cannot segregate our current affairs preparation between phase 1 and phase 2. Keep that thing in mind and keep it intact so that whenever you're going through a news, you are able to scan it from the perspective of both these phases, right? Understand? So make sure you are doing all these aspects before you're entering your examination hall for your phase 1 RBI Grade B 2019, right friends? Okay, good to go. Now, is that all when I talk about general awareness section, which constitutes 80 marks? No, it is not all. Okay, there's other aspect to it as well. There is static GK. Okay, so yes, I would not say that out of 85, 60 to 65 would go for current affairs, but the next 15 marks you can expect static GK. Now these are probable topics, they can be other topics as well. I'm not claiming that I've covered here all the topics, I'm just giving you a glimpse of sections. Okay, banking terminologies, headquarters of bank, biography, autobiography, abbreviations, festivals, stadiums, national park sanctuaries, books, sports, places of importance like World Heritage Sites, lakes, rivers, mountains, temple, currency, headquarters, capitals, national and international days, themes, dams, miscellaneous, and airports as well, right? Okay. Now friends, just one pointer here as I'm moving forward with this session. See, do not do this mistake of concentrating heavily on one phase. Let me tell you why. See, if you do not qualify for phase 1, you are definitely not going to reach phase 2. So preparing only for phase 2 is not going to make any sense, right? Secondly, preparing only for phase 1 is again not going to make any sense, because after phase 1, after 20 days you have to appear for phase 2, right? So again, coming back to square one, failing in phase 2, again it's not going to be fruitful for you guys. So we need to balance it out. Okay, we need to play safe, we need to play clever. Okay, so what you can do, the September days, okay, the days which are left in the month of September, utilize it to the maximum for phase 2. Okay, October month, we need to bring a balance, okay, between your phase 1 and your phase 2. Now, this balance depends upon your strengths, okay. For example, if you are someone who's very weak in reasoning, quants and English, then obviously the time that you're spending on phase 1 would be 60% and 40% on phase 2. If you're very comfortable in these sections, then the ratio would be 75% for phase 2 and the remaining 25 or maybe 30 you can say for phase 1. So this depends upon your personal strength. I identify that personal strength, okay. So for that also, what can be done, we will see in this session itself. So now you can see this particular pattern on your screens. So we have talked much about general awareness section. Now let us get to the other sections, reasoning, English and quant. Now let me tell you, depending on these three sections is a big mistake. I would not say that you cannot score. You can definitely score. You would have your own strengths and weaknesses. But saying that I will try to clear the cutoff based on these three sections is a little tough. So your dependency should be there on general awareness, but do not neglect the other three sections. Because why? Sectional cutoffs. Understand that, keep that in mind, okay. Now, what I would suggest you is, in the remaining days, what you need to do is you need to practice these sections through mock test. But that is not all. You need to analyze these mock tests, because giving mock test in itself is not going to be fruitful to you guys. Club that preparation with analyzing the mock test. This is the right time to analyze it, to identify your strength, okay, to improve upon your weaknesses, okay. So let me just show you how. Again, the first aspect we have seen, how do we need to cover these sections? We need to make sure we are giving regular mock tests. Now let us go to time division. Now in the next 10 days, I would expect that you go for mock test number 1 and mock test number 2, right? Now why 2 mock tests here? The first 2 mock tests would at least be required to judge yourself, okay? Where do you stand? Which is the section that is bothering you? Where do you need to work? Okay, what are the areas that you need to make sure you need to work on, and what are the areas that can be your strengths in the examination? All this data is very, very important. So that is the reason you need to take 2 mock tests in the coming 10 days. Okay. October, I would suggest you to take 1 mock test each week. Okay, so 4 mock tests there. In the first week of November, I would say that 1 mock test is more than sufficient. I would never recommend you to burden yourself with more number of mock tests just before the examination. That's not going to be fruitful, because analysis is also required, right guys? Okay, so now you can see here that minimum 7 mock tests. If you can go for more, that's your personal approach, okay, but try giving at least 7. Okay, so this is a structure regarding your practicing of mock test, right? Fine. So here, if you see, we have covered the phase 1 area. Okay, we have seen how general awareness needs to be approached. Okay, what are the months that we need to cover? Okay, parallel preparation. Okay, we have seen the split up. Okay, how do we need to cover? Other sources that we need to refer. What to cover in static GK. Okay, and we have seen that other sections can be practiced through mock test. Okay, now let us go for your phase 2 part. As I told you, only preparing phase 1 is not going to work out, right? You need to go ahead and give your phase 2 as well once you qualify phase 1. And after phase 1, friends, is only going to be 20 days in our hands, right? So we need to make sure we do it strategically. Okay, how do we need to cover? This is a question. See, have a very keen look on your screens. Let us discuss this. Okay, again, one very big pointer here: customize this strategy. We are giving you a path. Okay, we are showing you a path based on your strength, based on your time availability, based on your weaknesses, based on your previous year experiences. All these you need to put there and come out with the customized strategy for yourself. Okay, now how to cover phase 2? This is before phase 2 what you need to do. Accordingly, if you see, 85% of finance portion should be covered. When I say 85%, see, finance is something which can give jitters to many. Okay, so I would like to say this is the time where you work on things that are tough. Okay, because the 20 days that you're going to have between phase 1 and phase 2, you need to do something like revision plus the leftover topics. Okay, so that is the reason I am asking you to go for finance. Okay, 85% coverage should be there. Management 50%, it is easily doable. Okay, I would say the least pressure you will face is in management, but again, management, the question has options which are confusing, so your concept clarity should be very good when you talk about management. Okay, how that can be done? If you divide the topics properly in the remaining days. Understood? Okay, then economics and social issues. Okay, if you talk about economics and social issues, let me tell you, the majority weightage, or you can say the importance, is given to the current affairs section. Okay, so already we are preparing current affairs. We have discussed the strategy to prepare current affairs. What is left out? Static part is left out. In that static part also, chapter by chapter, we will see what are the things that we need to cover. Okay, you do not need to do everything under the sun. Understand that. What to study, what to leave, again the mantra that you need to keep in mind, right? Okay, so here you can see after phase 2 what you need to cover, friends. Okay, after phase 2, finance 15%, the leftover topics or the topic which you thought I can do it later consciously. Management, again the left 50%. Economic and social issues, again the revision can be continued. We will discuss how we will go about it, right? Okay, now taking this step by step. Okay, do not get confused, be calm, understand what it is we are talking about. First, let us cover ESI. How do we need to proceed with economics and social issues? Before we go ahead with this, keep these pointers in mind that current affairs weightage is more for ESI. To substantiate this fact, have a look at this data. This is regarding the questions that were asked in 2018 for ESI. Okay, we had done an analysis as well. So you can see when you talk about number of questions, okay, 19 questions were concept based questions, very simple questions. There were questions on a type of unemployment. Okay, there were questions on, you can say, inflation basics, GDP basics. Okay, very basic questions, not PhD level, not master's level as well, right? Next, if you see the green part that you can see, mehendi color, 34 questions current affairs, 10 questions factual, basic knowledge. For example, you can say what is the base year for WPI, right? Very basic knowledge questions, no concept checking, just you can say recollecting. Okay, and all this can be done simultaneously also. How? For example, if you're reading a news article, if you're reading a news coverage, if it is about inflation, then and there you should know the concept of inflation. Okay, so there what you're doing, you're combining your static part and your current affairs part, right? And these are some of the tricks that you need to use when you talk about economics and social issues. Okay, so I'm just giving you a glimpse of why we are stressing upon current affairs part, so that you get that feeling that yes, current affairs is equally very important when compared to static, but static cannot be avoided. Again and again, the base should be there. First thing, there are very easy questions asked from static part. Do not miss those brownie points. Secondly, your current affairs, if you want to understand them properly, keep them in your mind for a longer time, then obviously you need to know the base. Okay, so let us see here. Fine. So here you can see that this is a split up in terms of marks, because you have 2 markers and 1 markers asked in ESI as well, right? So you can see number of questions, it is 34 current affairs plus 10, I'm including it here itself, 44, 19 questions are conceptual. Next, in terms of marks, 60 good marks plus 16 marks. I would put this in the bracket of current affairs. Conceptual, 24 marks, right? So you can see the importance here. Fine. Okay. Moving ahead. We have spoken about what is important for ESI. We have spoken about the weightage in the last year paper 2018, right? Now comes the key question, and I'm sure you all are here for this session only to answer or get your answers for that particular question, right? That is, how do we cover ESI? right? Have a look at the screen, friends. Just pause and just listen to whatever we are trying to tell here. See, we have listed down the topics. Okay, let us go topic by topic, and at the end you can also see the days that we have allocated for this bunch of topics that you can see on your screen, right? Okay, so firstly, if you see the first chapter, measurement of growth, national income, per capita income, from here you can get concept based questions, right? So you need to make sure when you're doing this chapter, concepts are on your tips, right? Okay, human development, factual, basic, current affairs related, monetary policy, fiscal policy, balance of payments. Again, these three chapters are a very good combo. You need to do all these three chapters in terms of your basic concepts, plus in terms of your current affairs, specifically linked with economic survey and budget. Understand that, okay? Now, when I talk about current affairs related topics, when I talk about economic survey, when I talk about budget, you are already doing these things when you are preparing for current affairs. So here comes that point that your preparation for current affairs is going to be parallel for phase 1 and phase 2. There is no demarcation, friends. That is why I told you to keep this point in mind, right? So now, when do you need to cover these topics? Allocate 21st to 30th of September 2019 for these topics that you can see on your screens, right? Fair enough? Okay, we'll move forward. Right. Now, next three topics that you can see: World Trade Organizations, International Financial Institutions, Regional Economic Cooperation. From all these three topics, again, there can be fact-based questions about membership, that is least expected, but still maybe about a subsidy, right? A green box, amber, right? Any important updates. So again, all these is done when you're doing your current affairs preparation. If there is any important summit that is taking place, that would have been covered in your current affairs. If there is any important declaration that is signed, again, that is going to be covered in your current affairs. So you can see how effective it is if you're treating current affairs as a whole rather than phase 1 and phase 2. Right? So again, this is going to be covered in your September 2019, 21 to 30. Again, I am repeating this point, friends. I am expecting much from you in these last 10 days of September, because here it is when your mind is at peace. When compared to October month, you can pull out the maximum out of you. Okay, so that is one thing. Next, these are some of the topics: poverty alleviation, employment generation, health, education, gender issues, social justice. Give a very deep look here. You can see that poverty alleviation has some important concepts: types of poverty, that's it, maybe about poverty gap, poverty ratio, poverty line, okay, all these things. Then employment generation, okay, types of unemployment like disguised, frictional, okay. So all these things, basic definitions are going to be asked, nothing much more than that, right? And apart from that, yes, basic knowledge, current affairs, okay, census, SECC, schemes, again, all this is being covered where? Along with the current affairs part, okay. So only these little aspects that are remaining should be covered by you when you're doing the static part. This again can be done in the last 10 days of September, okay. Let's move forward. Now let's enter the month of October, okay, 1 to 7, just 7 days of yours. Now when I say 1 to 7, I'm not saying that all the 7 days you need to do ESI, no, okay. I'm just saying that try to complete these topics in these days. You can do it for 1 day, you can do it for 3 days, you can do it for 2 days. It depends upon your convenience, right, friends? Again, customize the strategy. We can show you a path, we can give you a direction, but we cannot know the exact situation that you are in. So you need to customize the strategy for yourself, right, friends? Okay. So here you can see sustainable development and environment issues, urbanization, migration, industrial and labor policy, role of economic planning, special emphasis on Niti Aayog. You can see these topics. What can be asked? Important concepts can be asked, okay. Some basic current affairs can be asked. Again, census 2011, urbanization, urban population, rural population, village, towns, all these things. SECC 2011, rural population targeted, schemes based on all these things, okay. So again, the preparation for this part is already being done, okay, when you're doing current affairs. Apart from that, the definition parts, okay, all these things you need to cover within 1 to 7 days, right? Am I clear, guys? Okay. Fine. So the remaining topics that I could say, maybe social movements, Indian political system, let us keep it for later part. Okay. Concentrate on the current affairs part that you're already doing. Okay. Fine. So here we are where we have covered phase 1 completely. How do we need to approach current affairs, which is for phase 1, phase 2. We have seen the other 3 sections: reasoning, English, and the mathematics part, right, quantitative part. Okay, we have seen those 3 sections as well. So your phase 1 is done. We have for phase 2, we have concentrated how to cover ESI. We have seen starting from September 20 till October 7, you can build upon your concepts. That is going to help you out to understand the current affairs also better. Okay, plus concept based questions are also there, that also will be solved by you very easily. Right, now let us move to your next part, how to cover management. So 2 days before, Anchit sir has actually taken a session wherein he has gone into the details of, you know, what is required out of you when you talk about finance and management. Here the same requirement will be covered along with the coverage, along with the duration. Okay, so I am going to be telling you those topics how you can cover in the remaining days. So that is what we are going to see when you talk about management and when you talk about finance, the overall allocation, right? Okay. So let us see the management section first. Okay, so when you talk about management, you have already seen in the previous session that you can divide the topics that are there under management into 2 categories. One is the important topics category, the other is the less important topics category. How do we need to divide this in terms of what needs to be done when? Okay, the important topics that are there: motivation, leadership, general management, HRD. Cover these topics in the month of September, the last 10 days and the first week of October. Okay, now what are the things lined up for you in the last 10 days? 2 mock tests. Fine, phase 1. Current affairs preparation, we have already seen 3 months. The concept building of ESI, only the concept parts. Second, these 4 topics of management. I think it is doable. Okay, even if you're working, guys, pull up your socks, stretch a bit. It is just one time investment. It is okay if you're tired. Okay, just pull yourself up. Okay, motivation works a lot. Okay, so if you're feeling low, just tell it to yourself that this is it, I need to do. Even if you're having a 8 hours duty, 9 hours duty, forget it, go back home and start studying. Okay, so that is what you need to think in your head. Okay, look for solutions rather than searching for problems. Okay, so next, yes, the less important topics that you can see on your screens: communication, corporate governance. These can be given importance after your phase 2. Do not do it now. 4 topics of management, do it very simply: motivation, leadership, general management, HRD, very easy. But keep in your mind that the questions that are asked from management have very close options. So repeating the fact, concept clarity is very important. Right, friends? Okay, so I can see a question. I've just seen this question here, so let me just take it up here itself. How many hours study per day for beginner? See, if you're a beginner, I don't know whether you're working or not. So in case you're not working, try and stretch your study into 2 sections. Divide that into 2 halves. Take good break in between. Okay, you can do it 4 hours and then take 2 hours break, 2.5 hours break, and then next 4 hours. Never do study throughout. Okay, never stretch yourself together for 5 to 6 hours. Break your study into small duration so that you can get breaks. Okay, fine. Now I can go for covering finance. Okay, when you talk about finance, these were the topics that were discussed when the live session was taken regarding how to prepare finance. So here the first section that you can see here is only theory based chapters. Okay, so all these chapters you will get theory questions. Those theory questions can again be categorized into static, okay, and it can be categorized into current affairs also. So what you can do is, I'm not going to go into the detail wherein I'm going to say you spend 1 day for this chapter, 2 days for this chapter. No, that is your decision. Again, customization comes into play. Okay, so what you need to do, spend first 15 days for these topics. Okay, see how much ever you can cover comfortably. properly understanding the concepts. You should cover that in such a way that in case you get a question from there, you should be able to answer. And quality matters over quantity any day. Okay, be it in life, be it in preparation, right? Okay. Moving forward, the next category, if you see, it is numerical plus theory based chapters. Okay. From these chapters, again, you can get static questions or current affairs based questions. Okay. Here, what you need to do, friends, you need to divide your days between 15th to 25th of October 2019. Right? So, last 10 days, like not last 10 days, 15 to 25. Here again, how much ever you can do comfortably, how much ever you can do efficiently, concentrate on these topics. Okay? Again, customization would come into play. Okay? Some of you might be writing it for the second time. You might already be aware of these topics. Right? So, there are so many ifs and buts that are attached to the strategy. Right? Okay. Lastly, if you see probable chapters for numericals, so as you see the trend also, you would have realized that, you know, as the years are passing by, the weightage of numericals is actually reducing, but again, we cannot completely ignore it, but let's just put it for after phase 2, okay. I would again say it's your discretion. If you're still frightened about numericals, and you can take it up, but I would suggest you can have it after phase 2, provided you're doing the other topics before phase 1. Okay, not leaving complete management after phase 2. Big no, right? Do not do that. Okay, so fine. Now, these are some of the chapters that are ignorable. Again, a disclaimer: if you do not have time, these chapters are ignorable in comparison to the other chapters that we have just now listed. Right, guys? Okay. The last section that we're going to discuss today is regarding your descriptive English. Okay. See, friends, we get a lot of queries regarding this as well, right? So, let me just tell you. When you're doing this study, wherein you're doing current affairs, which is again important for phase 1, phase 2, you're studying important concepts of finance, you're studying important concepts of ESI, you're doing union budget, you're doing economic survey, government schemes. Oh my God, I'm also tired after listing these sources. So all these things are actually acting as a fodder material in your head for your English paper. Okay, what is important? Structuring is very important. That you need to learn. That comes by practice. So for that, what you can do? You can do it one essay per week. That can be done. Okay. Type it. Do not write it on a piece of paper, because right from day one, get into the zone of the examination. How are you going to write there in the examination center? You're going to type there. Right? So all those difficulties, we need to conquer it now itself. Okay. So do not take your pen and paper. Type it on the keyboard. Okay. And guys, if you feel that you are a bit, I can say, not very comfortable with English, then you can do 2 essays per week as well. But for now, I would say the ideal thing would be 1 essay per week. Right? Know the rules for attempting the other sections, writing the general rules, okay, reading comprehension, everything will fall into place. Other things, we can do it after phase 2. Do not worry much. Keep your practice going. 1 essay per week, doable. Okay. Yes, doable. Keep a Sunday for it. Okay. And the remaining thing, we can discuss it. Okay. In during phase 2. Right. Okay. So now, if you have bought our course, so let me just tell you what are the things that you need to do as part of our course. Okay. One are the videos. Now, see, you might be working, you might be having paucity of time. Now, in this case, always try to rationalize whatever you have with you, right? Right now, if you have less time available, go for watching the videos only if your concepts are not clear. For example, if I'm studying, say, monetary policy chapter, and I know that I'm not very well versed about the nitty-gritties of this chapter, or I'm not able to get the concepts much. So, what is the next step that you need to do? You need to go and watch the video first. But say I have a chapter like BOP and I'm comfortable with that. I've read it previously and I can read the content sheet and understand that. Do not invest your time there. So do this selective thing. There are many students who are always in the, in the race of completing everything. 100% syllabus is a myth. Let me tell you, you can never ever complete 100% syllabus before you go to the examination. Have it from me. Okay, you might be doing this for the next, you might be studying for it for the last 2 to 3 years, 4 years. No, understand that you cannot close it. Okay, so always go for selective reading. What to read, what to leave. Okay, Content sheet, you should do it if you're doing it for the first time. If you have read it twice or thrice, then go for summary sheet. Should do summary sheets. Okay, worksheet, leave it for now, do not do it. MCQ should do. So summary sheet and MCQs, always make sure you're doing it even before the examination, right guys? Okay. So yes, ending on a positive note here, we have had excellent results in the year 2017 and 2018. 2017, if you see, RBI Grade B 27 final selections were there. Let me talk about RBI Grade B only. 2018, there were 70 plus selections, and yes, for 2019, the individual courses that we are offering: RBI SEBI, RBI Assistant, IBPS AF4. Combo course, we have RBI Grade B and SEBI Grade A. So we also have QRE course for all banking exams, that's quantitative aptitude, reasoning ability and English. Okay, right now friends, we are offering a 30% off on the individual courses for RBI Grade B 2019. Use the coupon code REPEAT30 to avail this particular discount. On the combo courses, that's RBI and SEBI combo courses, we have a 35% off that is being offered. You can use the coupon code COMBO35 to avail the same, right guys? Okay, so I can see so many questions. So guys, what you can do is mail your queries to hello@edutap.co.in. we are there to answer them out. Any out and out questions here? Okay, Ashi is asking if schemes which is given in paid course covers all the schemes. Yes Ashi, we are okay, so paid course, yeah. So what we'll be doing is we will also be coming up with updated schemes document. Okay, that also will be given to you guys. So we will make sure we are doing a check again and we are making all the important updations. So those documents are lined up. The schedule for it also will be given. Okay, so guys, I think yes, we are done out there. Thank you so much for joining in. Okay, the recent schemes would be incorporated in the existing file, so you will be getting updated schemes document. There are 4 parts, ESI, right? Part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. All the parts would go for an update. Okay, incorporating the recent schemes, incorporating any changes required. So you will be getting all the 4 updated parts for your examination. Okay. Worksheet contain very basic fill-ups questions and like choose the best or match the following, just to test your concept building process. Okay. Suketu is asking, is it possible to crack current like the examination now? So Suketu, yes, it is possible. Okay, provided previous year question knowledge, syllabus intact, right guidance. Okay, effectively utilize your strategy and it is doable, so do not worry regarding that. Okay, EduTap is obviously comprehensive enough, right? But again, I would say much depends on you also. How are you taking it, whether you're revising it or not, whether you're going in the right direction or not. So all these things should be taken care, and for that reason this particular session was being conducted. Okay, so fine guys, this is a time to leave, and I would request you guys to mail your query at hello@edutap.co.in so that we can answer it there. Okay, so please do mail it to us. And last but not the least, just a few words wherein do not get saddened by the fact that you have less time or you have not completed certain sections. There is still time left. Do not worry, boost yourself up. We will be there in touch with you, coming out with some series or coming out with sessions, so that we get you get time with us and understand what else is required, right guys? Okay, so in case, yeah, okay, fine guys, so you can just drop us a mail. Thank you so much. And if you have any other queries, you can also call on the number which you can see on your screens, 8146207241, right? Thank you so much guys, and happy learning.